Okay, so we're going to talk about complex numbers now. This kind of stems from doing the quadratics here. So we're told to simplify the square root of negative 27. Well, the problem is there is no real number that when squared produces a negative number. Okay, there's nothing that will give me, no number I can multiply by itself and come out with a negative. Okay, so somewhere along the line, some real smart math person just said, well, what if there was? And so we say we use I as the imaginary unit. So I squared is negative 1, and therefore I is the square root of negative 1. So what we do, as soon as we see this, as soon as we see the square root of negative 27, we think about it as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 27. And we just deal with it from there. Well, the square root of negative 1 is I. We just replace that with I. Now we just let that go for the ride and we deal with the square root of 27. Square root of 27 is square root of 9 times square root of 3. Square root of 9 is 3. So we'd write this, generally they write the I second. 3i square root of 3. So even simpler here, when you see the negative on the inside, just simply call it I. So we take out the square root of negative 1, that becomes I. Well, the square root of 81 is 9. All right, you try this last one here. Pause it and give it a shot. Okay, so square root of negative 32, immediately we take out the square root of negative 1, call that I. Well, 32 is going to break down to 16 and 2. You just find the biggest perfect square that goes into 32. So the square root of negative 1 is I. The square root of 16 is, so this is I. This is 4. And this is square root of 2. 4i square root of 2. Why is it faded like that? That's very weird. There it goes. Okay. So when you have operations, you treat it just like you would treat x. The only thing that's going to come up is if you ever multiply and you see I squared, you change it to negative 1. The only thing you're really ever change here is if you come across an I squared, you treat it like negative 1. And generally, I think Delta Math will want it this way. You write the number, like if you have a plus and minus in there, write the number without the I first, plus or minus whatever, the number times I. So here, this is just like doing 7 plus x minus negative 9 minus x. So we got to distribute the negative in there. And then you're just combining like terms. 7 plus 9 is 16. I plus I is 2i. That's all there is. You're not even dealing with any squares there. Here, same thing. Distribute the negative. 12 plus 11 is 23. 2i minus 8i is 6i. I don't know why I didn't combine it there. That, by the way, that should not be there. And there you go. So now down here, we need to simplify everything first. So everything with an I in it, or everything with a negative in it, just pull it out and call it I. So this comes out and becomes I. This comes out and becomes I. Now we just deal with everything. Square root of 100 is 10. This is going to be square root 100 times square root 2. This is going to be square root 36 times square root of 2. So we deal with it that way. Oh, and the square root of 1 is just 1. So now this is going to become 10. and this is going to become 6. Now we combine like terms. I can combine the 10 and the 1, and this is like saying 10x plus 6x. Okay? So same thing here. Bring this out and call it I. Bring this out and call it I. This is going to be 11. This is going to be square root of 36 times square root of 5. This is going to be 6, and that's just going to be square root of 5. So this will become 6. Nothing else will change there. And now we combine like terms. 11 minus 6 is 5. Negative 6 plus 1, also 5. All right. Now we're going to multiply them. So first thing we're going to do, we can't do anything until we take the negatives out. So you're going to do that. Well, this is 7, and this is 5. And we can just multiply the numbers. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. 5 times 2 is 10. And now we're going to multiply this times this and this times this. It's like you're multiplying the similar terms. Just like if you had negative 28x times 10x, you're going to get negative 280 x squared. We just do it but with I, but the thing is we know I squared is negative 1 by definition. So our answer is positive 280. So it's that weird thing of like we started out with numbers that don't exist or are imaginary, or we call them complex, and ended up with a real number. Okay, I'm going to let you try this one. Pause it here, come back and work this out. Okay, so we've got 3i square root 10, 6i square root 30, so we're going to get 18i squared square root of 300. And we can go ahead and replace I squared with negative 1. So already we're at a real number. And we just need to simplify square root of 300. So that should be square root 100 square root 3. So it's negative 18 times 10 times square root 3. So negative 180 square root of 3. And there you go. You have now learned math with imaginary numbers. Good luck.